The Korthani War Council fell silent as the holographic display flickered to life, showing the devastation on Kepler 442b's surface. Where once stood the proud fortress city of New Arcturus, now only twisted metal and scorched earth remained. General Vexithera's mandibles clicked nervously as she processed the tactical readout. "Confirmed casualties?" she asked, though her voice carried the weight of someone who already knew the answer would be catastrophic. "The entire Third Fleet," came the trembling response from her aide. 12,000 Korthani warriors, gone in less than 6 standard hours. The beast had struck again. For 3 cycles it had terrorized the Outer Rim territories, appearing without warning to consume entire military installations. No weapon could pierce its hide. No strategy could predict its movements. It seemed to exist purely to devour armies. Growing larger and more terrifying with each victory, the creature stood nearly a kilometer tall, its obsidian scales reflecting no light, as if it absorbed illumination itself. Multiple heads writhed from its serpentine neck, each one capable of breathing plasma hot enough to melt through battleship armor. Its claws had carved through mountains, and its roar could shatter crystal formations from orbit. "Sir," another aide interrupted, "we're receiving a transmission from the human vessel Wanderer." Vexithara's compound eyes narrowed. The humans were a recent addition to the Galactic Council, barely a century since first contact. Most species considered them primitive, though their rapid technological advancement had earned grudging respect from some quarters. "Put them through." The hologram shifted to show Captain Elena Rodriguez, her dark eyes calm despite the chaos surrounding them. Behind her, Vexithara could see the modest bridge of what appeared to be a converted research vessel rather than a warship. "General Vexithara," the human said with a slight nod, "we've been monitoring the situation. We'd like to offer assistance." A ripple of what could only be described as amused disbelief passed through the War Council. The Korthani were among the galaxy's most formidable warriors, their exoskeletons naturally armored, their weapons technology centuries ahead of humanity's. If they couldn't stop the beast, what could these soft-skinned newcomers possibly do? "Captain Rodriguez," Vexithara replied diplomatically, "we appreciate the gesture, but this creature has destroyed forces far more experienced than your own. Perhaps it would be wiser to evacuate human settlements in the area." Rodriguez smiled, an expression that always unsettled other species due to the visible teeth. "With respect, General, we have a specialist aboard who might be able to help. Dr. Marcus Webb, xenobiologist. He has a theory about your beast." Before Vexithara could respond, proximity alarms screamed throughout the command ship. The Gobisto had arrived. Through the viewport, they watched in horror as the creature materialized from what seemed like empty space, its massive form dwarfing even their largest dreadnoughts. The assembled fleet, representatives from 7 different species, immediately opened fire. Plasma cannons, quantum torpedoes, molecular disruptors, all the most advanced weaponry the galaxy could muster. The beast absorbed it all without so much as a flinch. Then it began to feed. Ships simply vanished into its maws, their crews final. Transmissions cut short. In minutes, half the fleet was gone. Panic spread through the communications channels as captains received the order to retreat. "General," Rodriguez's voice cut through the chaos, "request permission to approach the creature." "Are you insane?" Vexithara hissed. "That thing will—" "Trust us," Rodriguez said simply. "Give us 30 seconds." Against all military logic, Vexithara found herself ordering the remaining ships to hold position. Perhaps it was desperation, or perhaps something in the humans' tone suggested they knew more than they were revealing. The Wanderer broke from formation, its engines glowing as it accelerated directly toward the beast. Every being watching expected to witness another senseless death, another meal for the unstoppable creature. The beast turned its attention to the approaching vessel, all 6 of its heads focusing on what must have seemed like an insignificant morsel. Its maws opened, revealing the swirling vortex of energy that had consumed entire fleets. Then something extraordinary happened. A single figure emerged from an airlock on the Wanderer's hull. Dr. Marcus Webb, wearing nothing but a standard environmental suit, drifted in space between his ship and the cosmic horror that had terrorized the galaxy. The beast paused. Webb activated his suit's external speakers, and his voice, calm, authoritative, but not aggressive, carried across the void. Sit. The beast, the terror that had devoured armies, the unstoppable force that had sent the galaxy's greatest warriors fleeing in panic, slowly lowered its massive bulk toward the asteroid field below. The silence in the aftermath was absolute. Webb's voice came again, gentle but firm. Good boy. It was only then that Vexithara noticed what everyone else had missed in their terror. The collar. Massive, ancient, hidden among the creature's scales, but unmistakably there. Not a weapon or a restraint, but a collar, like the ones used on Earth for... It's someone's pet. Webb's voice crackled over the comm. Has been for probably 10,000 years, judging by the biosignatures. Lost. Confused. Acting out because it hasn't heard a familiar command structure in millennia. The doctor was already moving toward the beast, which watched him approach with what could only be described as eager anticipation. The species that trained it is long extinct, Webb continued, running a gloved hand along one of the creature's massive claws. But they were clearly pack hunters, social beings. This one's been alone too long. All it needed was someone who understood pack behavior. As if to confirm his words, the beast, this cosmic destroyer, began making a sound that was unmistakably similar to purring. Dogs, Captain Rodriguez explained to the stunned fleet, are humanity's oldest companions. We've been reading their body language for 30,000 years. Apparently, some things are universal. General Vexithara stared at the display, watching. A creature that had single-handedly brought the galaxy to its knees, now rolling over, to have its belly scratched by a human xenobiologist. Dr. Webb, she managed to say, what do you intend to do with it? Webb looked up from where he was examining the ancient collar, the beast's massive head nuzzling against him like an affectionate mountain. Well, he said thoughtfully, someone's going to need to take care of him, and humans have always been pretty good with rescue animals. The galaxy would never look at humanity, or their uncanny ability to befriend absolutely anything, quite the same way again.